Oh, we are live on Thursday morning, January 15 in the year of our Lord, 2026. And I'm in beautiful downtown Crestline in the San Bernardino Mountains of Southern California. And I have to tell my phone to be quiet. Lots of stuff happening in the world, lots of stuff happening here. I had a request for help on Facebook and I got lots of help, so I've taken that down. It took care of the usual January disaster I face because various bills come due in December and January, and I couldn't cover them all. I got people brought me cat food, cat litter, people food, little cash. Um, Very nice response, and of course prayers and purrs. Um, but I do need, a steady income, so I'm going to be promoting my books on Amazon. Some of the Kindle books are as little as 99 cents. So, and I try to keep all my prices low. Okay, so I'll put the link to my Amazon author page in the chat. Oh, Lord, I don't sell other stuff, just my books. I have some merch on, I think it's on Zazzle, but that's for my cooking channel. There's like a t-shirt and an apron. And I did say that they could be customized, so if you don't like the color, you can change it. Where is my hand lotion? My hands are hurting. Oh, criminy. Sorry. There it is. Baby lotion. It's the only kind that both feels good and doesn't stink. The stuff they make for adults, I really don't like. So, anyway, good morning. How the world has gone nuts. Um, 3 people attacked an ICE agent with a shovel and a broom. One was the alien they were trying to arrest. Apparently, the other agents did step in and stop things, but not before the agent was forced to fire his gun, and he hit one guy, the target, in the leg, but he was severely injured too, so they both went to the hospital. And the 2 bystanders who brought the shovel and broom and started hitting the agent, they went to jail. It's getting way out of hand. And in the previous incident with the woman named Renee Good and her car, that agent is in the hospital with internal bleeding. I kind of think the car did hit him. Kind of sounds like it, doesn't it? Now, I don't know whether she intended to do that uh, or she was just driving recklessly, but either way, she was a threat. I'm sorry she lost her life. I wish that hadn't happened. But I wasn't there. I've seen videos, but you know, it isn't the same as being there. It's horrible. All kinds of bad stuff happening. And then Iran, the police were using rubber bullets and stuff like that against protesters. But now the Republican Guard, the Ayatollah's own personal troops, have gone out with guns with real bullets. They say that they're using machine guns. And the government of Iran admits to 2,000 dead, but who knows how many there really are. And then, of course, there's thousands wounded. I thought our President Trump said there would be consequences, but I haven't heard of any. I'm not sure I want to see our troops involved in Iran. You know, when our jets bombed the nuclear facilities, that was different. It was not troops on the ground. I really don't want to see troops on the ground. We made a mess of Iraq, under at least two presidents, Clinton and Bush. We've made messes all over the world. I still remember Vietnam. I don't have many memories about Korea, which was before Vietnam. But of course, there was that TV show, MASH. So that's in my mind, but that was a TV show and a movie. I don't know. Where else have we? Oh, we've had all kinds of stuff going on in Argentina for decades and other parts of South America having to do with the drug trade. Um, and of course, now a number of oil tankers have been seized and alleged drug boats have been destroyed along with the drugs on board. We are at war whether we like it or not. Well, anyway, it's it it's really sad all around. I'm fortunate to live in a small mountain community where we have good neighbors and good friends and local businesses, super local, mom and pop shops. We seem to have some of the best restaurants in California, and they are not expensive. Um, there's a, oh, I can't remember what it's called. It's one of those shops that have bubble tea and those bowls of, I don't know, it's some kind of Asian food. Maybe it's Indonesian. Boba? Yeah, boba, Boba. Bowls, there's a vegetarian one, there's one with, I think it's pork, one with seafood. I think it's shrimp. I've never been there to eat, but I would like to try their bubble tea. I think the bubbles are made with tapioca. So it's kind of like drinking a, a tea, a tapioca pudding, a tea flavored. I don't know. I really want to try one though. Um, we've had the weirdest. We had over a week, followed by, and sometimes with, uh, really strong winds. The wind was worse than the rain. Uh, and then when it dried out, we were still getting wind and it was still freezing cold. But the past couple days, it's been up to at least 50 degrees. Yesterday, I think it got to 60, but it still felt cold. Today, we might get up to 70, which would be nice and comfortable. Kind of warm. If you're ever in Southern California or if you live here, you really should try Crestline. We're lower on the mountain. We're below Lake Arrowhead and a lot less expensive. We're not a winter resort. We're a summer resort with a lake that is stocked with trout for fishing. You have to get a permit to fish unless you're a child. I forget I think it's under 16, but don't quote me on that. I'm not sure. But children don't need a permit. There's still a fee. There's a parking fee to park your car at the lake, and then I think you also pay a fee to be allowed to fish so that we have more money to stock more fish in the lake. And sometimes people catch a bass, a freshwater bass. I forget what they're called. There's a species of bass that lives in the lake. Rock bass, maybe? I'm not sure. I'm not into fishing. Well, anyway, my friend who usually drives me around and such has been ill for several days, probably some kind of flu. So I've been asking for prayers for Rhea. That's Rhea, also the name of a Greek goddess. Um, one of the original goddesses that existed before the earth became populated with humans. I'm blanking on Greek myths that I should know without looking it up. Oh, yeah. The first god and goddess pair was Kronos and Rhea. Kronos, not the one that means time, but the one that's associated with the planet Saturn. The Latin name, The Roman name for Kronos is Saturn. So they gave birth to heaven, I guess heaven and earth. Heaven being what? Criminy. I think heaven was the planet we call Uranus or Uranus. Trying to remember. Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. I don't know. And his wife was Gaia, the Earth, and their child was Jupiter in Latin, Zeus in Greek, the one that most people know the most about, being one of the gods of Mount Olympus. There's a lot of great stories about those ancient Greek myths, the gods. I have tried to read the Iliad and the Odyssey, Homer's long poems about the Trojan War and the return home from the Trojan War. But lately I've just been listening to them on audiobooks. Great stories. And sometimes when the weather's bad, it seems like our sky is full of angry gods. The wind, the rain, the cold. It is winter and I am on a mountain, but I'm only at 5,000 feet. And even Big Bear up between 7 and 8,000 didn't get much snow. It was mostly rain. But I think they got more than we did, and we got plenty. I think we had something like 16 inches over the course of a week. Fortunately, my house is well placed. It did not flood. There was one storm a few years back where a little water came into my mud porch, but it wasn't even an inch deep. It was just a film of water over the tiles. Wow. What else have we got? The world has gone nuts. Absolutely nuts. And I'd like to have a talk with our president who keeps tantalizing the people. He holds out this, I should give you a stimulus check. I should give you a tariff boost or bonus. Never does it. It has been a year that he's been in office, and I think he was talking about it before he took office. There are people in this country, for them, a one-time check for $1,000 would actually mean the difference between keeping a roof over their heads or ending up homeless and on the street. Don't promise them something you are not going to deliver. And by the way, I'm kind of agnostic on politics at this point. I'm neither for Trump nor against him. I'm watching what he does and what he says. And I can criticize some things and applaud other things. I am for tariffs because our country's entire federal government was funded by tariffs on international trade before the Fed was established and we started paying income tax. And the crazy thing is, the income tax was voluntary, and it on paper it still is voluntary, but man, if you don't pay it, you're in trouble. Big trouble. And then, of course, the income tax was followed by Medicare and other taxes added on to your income tax. When I was working my first job in 1972, I was paying Medicare tax and income tax and Social Security tax. And I brought home about $65 a week in 1972. And I was living well. Now, I was considered poor, but, okay, so my television was a little portable black and white, not a nice color TV with a big screen. But I could pay my rent and buy whatever food I wanted. Every time I got my $65 paycheck, I could go out to eat at a restaurant, a sit down, and take a friend with me and pay for her food too. On $65 a week. Now, well, let's see, through the 90s and early 2000s, I was making $1,000 a month, and I could live on that until the crash of '08 and a bunch of other things. I wasn't fired. My job disappeared because the schools where I was teaching closed down. And with the real estate bubble and the crash, I lost almost everything. I don't even have a car now. And my Social Security is almost $1,000 a month. It wouldn't be enough if I didn't have Medicare. I mean, I'm 71 years old. Of course, I have Medicare. And I actually had to go on food stamps. It irritates me. In the 70s and 80s, when I was a single mother, and my husband was not wealthy, he paid me $200 a month, and my rent was $210. But I never went on social services. I didn't get welfare. I didn't get food stamps. I didn't get housing assistance. I just took every job I could get. And I didn't need to go on welfare. But now, basically, I'm stuck. Without the food stamps, I'd go hungry. Really hungry. Oh, hi, Oswald. Welcome in. If I ever had any investments, I did at one time. In the 80s, when gold was going up in value, I bought one gold coin. I think it was a Krugerrand, but it might have been a Canadian maple leaf. Held on to it for a couple years and then sold it. So it went from 300 to 350 in a couple years. It wasn't a huge investment. I have had passbook savings accounts, but they don't really pay much. Well, at this point in time, they don't even keep up with inflation. But no, I don't have investments. My investment was getting married. That didn't work out. He fell in love with this young blonde, and didn't realize that he was investing in fantasy because she didn't want him. She considered him a friend, not a boyfriend. But I could not let him teach my son to treat women the way he treated me in that time. He was awful. And it was all because he wanted to take off with this young blonde who turns out was not interested. He let his imagination take over his life. Wow. Anyway, I don't have investments. I do have personal property that I'm selling. Knick-knacky stuff and sets of china, dinnerware that I'm selling at consignment shops. And of course, I have collectible books that I'm selling. But not other than that, no real investments. Just stuff that I've had for years, and it's time now that I need the money to get them into the hands of people who will treasure them or resell them to someone who treasures them. Wow. Witta won't be coming in this morning. She has to go to some educational thing about her disability program. I'm hoping Freeman might pop in because I've been losing the internet by 8 in the morning lately, and it's already 7:30. Anyway, I'm tired. Didn't sleep well. Let's see. No, Tora isn't here to go on the camera and say hello to her adoring fans. That's a shame. The world has gone nuts. But it isn't falling apart. I'm just waiting to see what President Trump meant when he said that if the Iranian government started killing their own people, there would be hell to pay. Not his exact words, but I can't remember exactly what he said. Oh, I think he said there would be consequences. But he said more than that. There is American military activity in the Middle East, but it isn't action, it's training or preparing. God, don't let them get us into a war. We lucked out when the nuclear sites were taken out. We lucked out when Maduro was taken from Venezuela. Oh, Greenland. Yeah. Well, frankly, many of the actual population of Greenland, who are mostly Inuit, want us to take over because Denmark doesn't do anything for them. I'm really puzzled as to how Denmark can claim Greenland as their territory, their colony. They aren't doing anything for the people. Of course, the history of colonization has been mostly one of exploitation. But until recently, Greenland did not have much to exploit. It's 80% covered in ice. There's coastal villages. I forgot the name of their capital, but it's on the west coast. Apparently, the east coast is not a good place to live. Of course, none of Greenland is all that great, but along the coast, there tends to be less ice or no ice. Oh, thank you, Oswald. Yeah, it's Nook. I have the smartest chat room. The people in my chat are really great. Well, hello, Don. Welcome in. I didn't see your first post. I was busy reading Oswald's. Well, apparently, Eric the Red or Leif Erikson, one of those two, their father and son, when he first went to Greenland, it was during the medieval warm period. So it did look green. It looked better than Iceland. Oh, yes, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. It kind of feels like the old year. I know people are anxious to see the Trump administration do stuff, but hey, it's been just 1 year. In 5 days, it will have been 1 year. And you know the government is in January. And on top of that, Congress actually passed a law forcing the Department of Justice to focus on releasing Epstein documents instead of arresting criminals. And the Senate has refused to approve appointments, so they don't have enough attorneys to do the work. It's ridiculous. If our representatives and senators don't get off their butts and do things for the American people, they will be in trouble in the November elections. Whether they're Democrats or Republicans, people are paying attention. They don't just go, oh, that's a D for Democrat, I'll fill in that little bubble. Or, oh, that's an R for Republican, I'll vote for that person. They're actually looking into how these people have voted and what they've actually done for the people back home that they're supposed to represent. Let's see, is Don B the one who's in Nova Scotia? I keep getting confused. Whenever I complain about how cold it is, the guy in Nova Scotia says, oh, you got nothing on me. You're 20 degrees, I'm 20 below. Oh, wow. Well, that's why I don't live in Nova Scotia, which, by the way, is New Scotland. I bet there's a lot of Scottish people there, at least Scottish ancestry. Oh, you're in Pennsylvania. Who's the guy in Nova Scotia? Hmm. Well, I guess he isn't here. I imagine Pennsylvania is pretty darn cold this time of year. It's way up in the east, not on the coast, but near to it. My husband, Phil's family, his father and grandfather were in Pennsylvania. Um, Phil's father was born in Pennsylvania, and he was one of six brothers, or six sons. Yeah, I bet it was cold in December. It's been cold in January, which is kind of normal, except it's been colder and wetter. We usually get the real winter storms along the end of February and the beginning of March. Oh, it warmed up to 35. Well, last week we warmed up to 40, and this week it's actually been 50. And today, yesterday it was 60. Today it might get up to 70. Yeah, Edgar, Phil's father, Edgar Dick, was born in Pennsylvania, and I'm not sure how many, but several of it. Well, Edgar and at least two of his brothers moved to Fort Morgan, Colorado as adults. But then Phil's mother, Dorothy, was living in Chicago and supposed to return to Fort Morgan and, be with her husband, but she didn't. I'm not sure when she was in D.C., but Phil remembered going to a boarding school because his mother worked in Washington, D.C. But then she moved to California, so Edgar moved to California to be near his son. So Edgar ended up in actually Palo Alto, but there's a little community with its own name, and I keep forgetting what that name is. Wonderful little town near Stanford University. Oh, Don V. You got to visit DC. I've never been farther east than Colorado. I, at one time, wanted to travel more. Now I don't think I could manage it physically, let alone emotionally being away from the cats. But the cats and all my stuff. But I've been to Seattle, but all I saw was the hotel, the airport, and a 7-Eleven. It was a convention. When I was a kid, I went on a day trip to Mexicali with some family friends. And I've been to Fort Morgan, Colorado twice to see Phil's grave and meet with fans of his work. No, never been to New York City. I have been to Phoenix and Scottsdale. My son was in motorcycle school learning to repair motorcycles, and I went there to attend his graduation. He's certified to repair the Harley Davidsons, and that's the hardest certification to get. But he found that a job repairing motorcycles paid minimum wage, so he went back to, well, not back, he went to college and got a better job. He is now in charge of a fleet of vehicles, vans and cars and trucks. But with his heart condition, he's on limited duty and often has to take a few days off. And they're still happy with his work. They tell him that he does more in one day than the previous guy did in a week. Oh, New York City is surreal and overrated. Well, I don't want to live in a big city. I would enjoy visiting, but not right now with all the I don't know what to call it. Well, there's crime, of course. There's always been crime, but it seems to be much more brutal now and more common. It used to be someone would grab your purse and run off with it. Now they grab you and run off with you. Tora, there you are. She's kind of in the dark, but let's see if we can get her on camera. No, it's too dark. I could turn on a light. Let me turn. Oh, I get up to turn on a light and she leaves. No, Tora, it isn't time to feed you. Soon, but not yet. Let there be light. Let's get you on camera. Say hi to your adoring fans. Oh, you had to move into the shadow, huh? Come here. Up on the lap. Oh, gosh, you're heavy. And you say hi to your adoring fans. Say hello. Good kitty. Yes, you're a good girl. Okay, wiggle worm. She says, forget the camera, Mom. I want my treats. Okay, you want some mix-ups there? Chicken, lizard, and beast. Chicken, liver, and beef. All right. There, here you go. Oh, here's Tutu getting his share. And Smoky Sue getting her share. Let's get Tutu on camera. There he is. He's a big boy. Are you in the light at all, Smoky Sue? Yes. She's actually pretty clean for a long-haired cat. I've tried to brush her, but she doesn't really like it. And her fur doesn't get matted anyway. Okay. Ah. Yes, well, hi, it's Sequentia. Welcome in. We're almost at 45 minutes, and it's 12 minutes till 8, which is when, see, all the businesses open up, and then Verizon doesn't have enough signal for me to do more than get my email. Tora, get out of my stuff. You don't eat that. It isn't cat food. Now she's pawing at me, pawing at my leg. More gruel? Are you Oliver Twist? Please, sir, I'd like more gruel. I want more gruel. Silly cat. Yeah, well, when I get off the internet or off the live video, I'll open a can for you. I know that's what you really want, isn't it? Is it? Okay. So anyway, I'm pleased and overwhelmed and awed that when I posted on Facebook asking for help with the bills and such, I got tons of help. So now I'm just gonna keep pushing my books on Amazon. Some of my Kindle books are only 99 cents, so go ahead and check it out. All of my books are under $20. I try to keep them under 15, but inflation. I'm last year I made a little over $300 for the whole year on my Amazon books. So it's more about getting messages out than making money. Man, I'm tired and Taurus hungry. But there's a link in the chat. There's one in the description too, to my Amazon store with all my books. There are a couple audio books. Okay. So at Sequentia, is it cold where you are? I thought we were cold at about a week ago at 40 degrees, but Dawn said Pennsylvania was at 35. It might get up to 70 today. We'll see. It was 60 yesterday. This dome of high pressure has moved in, so the storms can't come on to our land. One storm front after another. Oh, you must be getting the stuff that left us a while ago. I know Arizona gets our storms, and the southern part of Nevada gets our storms when they leave California, Southern California. It's funny, while Northern California had a break in the wet weather, down here in the south we got a little bit of a not quite a hurricane, but definitely a storm that came up from Baja California. Baja, Mexico. Yeah, we had wind like, oh, it's like it's 40 degrees, but it feels like 20 because of the wind. Yeah, that's true at Sequentia. When the rain falls, it actually does warm up the atmosphere, friction. When you rub your hands together, it's the same thing. It creates friction, so your hands feel a little warmer, or at least less cold. Oh well. We're all we're almost at 50 minutes. Not quite an hour, but Let's see. Don says old maps from like 1500s show California off the coast of the U.S. Used to be its own country at one time and must have sank. Well, no, it's more than obvious that the Mojave Desert used to be an inland sea. At one time, that made California like an island off the coast of Nevada. Or I imagine parts of Nevada were under the inland sea as well. I haven't looked at those old maps in quite a while. But did you know that Malibu, the name of Malibu comes from what the native tribes in California called the place? And I can't remember exactly what they called it, but it was where if you stood on the cliffs, lots of cliffs in Malibu, you could look out across the ocean and you could see Mu, M-U, the mythical continent. Well, it wasn't mythical to them, they could see it. Now, I know that from the ridge on these mountains where I am, you can see Catalina, but looking out from Malibu, I kind of think they were seeing something else. Or maybe they were talking about the trade ships coming in and out from to and from Mu. Or maybe they really could see the land. Or maybe there was an island, at least, in the Pacific Ocean that sank. Islands don't actually sink, by the way. They can get eroded, they can get covered in water, but the islands are not just floating, they are mountains that rise up from the seafloor. Ah, yes, said Sequendia. Mu, Lemuria, Atlantis, all interesting. There's a reason why we call it the Atlantic Ocean. Atlantis is supposed to be there. Yeah, could be, Dawn. When it rains or snows, the clouds, the air kind of get the heat. The warm air gets caught under the clouds. Could be. But when we had that rain recently, about a week ago it ended, uh, it was raining and windy, and it was like I'd wake up in the morning, it was 30 degrees, and yet we did not get snow because of the timing. It would rain overnight, but by the time the temperature dropped down to freezing, the rain had stopped and the wind was blowing. Oh, it could be that these mythical lands like Atlantis really are there and somebody knows, but they aren't telling us. I like the theory that Antarctica was Atlantis. It's interesting. You know, there is evidence that Antarctica used to have tropical forests, even palm trees in, I think Greenland or Iceland. I think Greenland. frozen under the ice. This planet was different. It has changed. Tora, you're really bugging me. Oh, now they say Atlantis was really North Africa. Oh, yeah. Sometimes they say it's really the island of Crete in the Mediterranean. There's, it has to do with the Greek myths and the Greek language at the time. Greek today is not like what I learned. I learned to read Plato. Greek today sounds almost the same as Spanish. Yeah. Yeah, we did have that mini ice age in the 1600s. Yeah, up to the 1800s. That's why the American troops were freezing at Valley Forge when they were, during the Revolutionary War. Ah, Tora, don't sit on my mouse. It isn't the kind of mouse you want. Yeah, these are not the droids you're looking for. You had to see her face. What? They aren't. These are not the droids you're looking for. Cats don't like to be stared at. And I guess she thinks the camera is staring at her. At Sequenti has been to Greece, Crete, a possibility. And that nearby island, near to Crete, is it Santorini? Something like that. The one that had this huge volcanic eruption that probably forced the people of Crete to flee. Santorini. I don't know. But we really need to quit dismissing the histories that ancient people wrote as mere myth and legend and fantasy. And that goes for Native American tribes as well. Yeah, thank you, Ed Sequentia Santorini. Okay, the Navajo have an ancient story that I've forgotten the word. I can't remember the word now, but the archaeologists try to tell us that these were the ancestors of the Navajo. That's not what the Navajo tell us. They were the ancient enemies. And finally, these ancient enemies moved back into Mexico and became the Aztecs. I can't remember what they're calling them. The people who lived in caves dug into the sides of the cliff. Oh, man. In Arizona. They also say that the Navajo did not come here from the north. They came from the east, and when their population got very large, a group of Navajo moved north, to like Alaska and Siberia eventually. What do they call those ancient people? It's bugging me. Oh, Tartaria. I'm not buying Tartaria. I think they've confused different stories about different peoples. But yeah, there is something there, but you gotta strip off the Tartars, by the way, in Russia. Oh, Verizon's starting to cut me off. There are Tartars in modern Russia. They're a tribe. Smokey Sue, get off of Torah or I'll beat your ass off. Get. Thank you. Didn't have to. Torah's trying to sleep now, and Smokey wants to play. It's time to open canned food for them. And Verizon's being mean to me again. So anyway, thank you all for being here with me, and have a wonderful typo. Hey, it's been real, it's been fun, and I'm really glad you're here to talk to me. Anasazi, thank you, at Sequentia. I could not come up with that word. According to the Navajo, the Anasazi were Aztecs who came up and camped out in Arizona for a while, then gave up and went back home. It's nice chatting, and it's nice having such great people in chat who are probably at least as smart as I am, maybe smarter. If I'd been smart, I would not have signed the divorce document and I'd be wealthy. You see, Phil's estate divided among 3 children who have attorneys to pay and Hollywood to pay, and everyone taking skimming off the top. It isn't much money. It's a shame. His children should have more and better. Oh, X-Files. Were they looking into Anasazi? Good, at Sequentia. So anyway, the Navajo stories that have been handed down through generations insist those were Aztecs who camped out and terrorized the locals until they gave up and went back to Mexico. All right. See you next time. Bye.